Hello, 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 hello.
Hi, Peter. Let me introduce ourselves. This is Bebe,
Pepe?
and hi, and Ariel,
Hi, Peter.
Yeah, oh, there you are.
and
Yes,
Alexis,
Hi, Peter.
Alexis is there. Yes.
and last but not least, Wiki.
Hello, Peter. Hi.
Wiki.
Wilkie.
Wiki.
Wilkie.
Wilkie. Wilkie. Like, you sound like a swimmer.
Yeah, why not? So, Peter, we're very glad to have the chance to chat with you in these days. Yeah, but there's always pleasure talking about music and about your career, and also about your very dear friend Freddie Mercury.
That's right.
But first, tell me about this re-release. I understand it's the first time you are re-releasing these albums in any format. So anybody who didn't have the chance to listen to it when they were originally released, now for the first time have the chance to do it.
Yes. A new generation.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's very difficult. What's his name? Barney. Oh yes, Barney, who works with Cherry Red, talked about this about 4 or 5 years ago, about putting them together. My producer and my partner in work is Michael Allison, who has been working on. He writes songs for me, and we write songs together. And we bought the rights back of the albums. And Barney said, "Can they do it?" And we decided, what a good idea. So it started last year, really putting it together. And now we have it. We have it. Look, I've got it there in front of you. Can you see it?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's
In a
it.
physical
Beautiful.
format.
Yes. I mean, of course, looking at it, I was young.
Yeah, yeah, we know.
Yeah, I really was young. But there you are. So that's what happened. And it's he decided that, and Cherry Red decided that they'd put the 3 albums that I did in the 70s, I think between 1977 and 80, under the influence of with Freddie, was I just did them, and I thought I'm going to be to sing and do some rock and roll.
Yeah. And how does it feel for you to?
Cheers too. Very nice to meet you.
Oh,
Yeah.
we didn't have
Yeah.
anything to toast with you. Okay, well,
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
You better find something soon. I'm way ahead of you.
I don't have anything to drink. Oh,
In Argentina, of all places, you don't have anything to drink.
oh yeah. Yeah, I'm the only one who doesn't have a cup or a glass right now, but I'll solve it later. Peter, and how does it feel for you to be in the position to give the opportunity to a new audience to listen to these records?
Well, it's. I have to say, we listened. Michael and I listened to it very, very carefully. The original recordings that we did, and we decided that they weren't that bad. And so, I don't mean it. They really were. And so, we just pumped up a few things that we had to do, changes a little bit, but didn't put anything new into it at all. It's just technology. We were able to just put in a bit more bass and this here and stuff. And this is what's come out. So I'm very pleased. I'm thrilled.
Okay, Ariel, your turn.
Okay, so Peter, in which circumstances did you meet Freddie? How did he become involved on This On Me as a producer?
We met in a restaurant in the Fulham Road. That's in London. Have you been to London yet?
Yeah, of course.
Well,
It's my favorite place in the world, so you know.
No, so we met in a restaurant in Fulham Road, and we just met my managers and his managers, and we just met just socially. because we all started, everybody went to the same sort of restaurants, and we became friends. And I had a party. I invited him to my house. It was a birthday party, and he came, and we got on. And after that, we just kept seeing each other. And then I just said to him, look, I'd like to make another album. I'd made one album before, with RCA Records at the beginning of the 70s. And I just thought, I'd seen Queen perform, and what they did. And I was also quite friendly with Elton John. And so everybody, we all moved in the same directions, and Cat Stevens and that sort of, you know, that era of people. So, and I said, would you produce an album for me? And he said, I would love to, but he said, you know, Queen aren't very popular at the moment because of the punk.
Yeah.
It's coming to London. And I said, I don't care. and I didn't. And then John Reed, who was looking after Queen for a brief period at that time, he brokered the deal between EMI and subsequently Rocket Records. So we did 3 albums. We did a 3-album deal, and it was as simple as that. I'm sure it wasn't simple, but to me it was as simple as that. So that's how it happened.
And how was the work approach during the recording sessions? Well, what challenge did you come across working with Freddie and Roy Thomas Baker?
Very, very easy, because I think what happened was I'd met Roy before because through Queen, and Freddie said, look, I haven't produced a whole album before. I mean, we've worked together as Queen, as a unit, but with you. He said, would you mind if I bring Roy on board? And I said, no, that's fantastic. So, it was like that. And I think sometimes collaboratively, that's what happens in those times when you just go, oh no, let's just do it. And we did it. And it was great. I mean, I know nothing about recording. I still don't. But I learned a lot in 5 or 6 years over the period 77 to 80 years, 4 years. We did 3 albums, 4 or 5 years, and so we learned a lot because although Freddie didn't produce the other 2 albums, he was very much involved as my pal and as a friend, and so he would always pop in the studio when they weren't touring and stuff, and come in and help. And sometimes I think Roger came in the studio a few times. Roger, and just it's sort of just artists working together. I can say that, artists working together.
It's okay. It's okay. You're an artist. Okay, it's okay. Wilkie, you're next.
Well, what's the story behind Heart Be Still? What was Freddie's contribution to the song?
Heart Be Still was a song that I had heard on an album with a great American recording artist at the time called Lorraine Ellison. And she was a Black American singer, and she had the most, in my sensational voice. And she had made Heart Be Still, I think, probably in the late 50s. And it was on an album in which she had also a great song, which I think everybody's heard of, is Stay With Me Baby. Do you know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she, you know, stay with me, baby, that one. So she did that. And I loved that version, and I just bought her album, and this song was on it, and I became mesmerized by it. So I'd never sung it before, and I just said when we were putting songs together, a lot of the songs on the first album, This One's on Me, were songs that I'd already been singing, and there were some new songs that we hadn't sung and were written for me, and I just said, I want to put this on. And he said, yeah, let's do it. So that, and then of course, it has a choir, a big backing choir sound. So my band at the time, we supplied most of all the voices. And Freddie, I was delighted to say somebody closing the door behind you. I love that.
It's my wife. I'm sorry. My wife tried I'm sorry. My fault. It's my wife.
I'm sorry, I love it.
You know, Peter, they're all working from home. You know.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's all right.
And I just looked at her and said no. With I just no.
And Freddie and Queen really, but I think probably more Freddie. I know, but technically they love this multi-layering of voices and multi-tracking and things. And so for Heart Be Still, it was perfect with the band and me singing, and then he sang on it as well, and we did a lot of the high voices. And Mike and the other boys, they did some of the low voices, and it just blended. And I love it. I just love it. I love it. That's why I released it. I'll show you that one. You've seen that one?
Yeah.
That's
Beautiful. The video.
That's it. That's the whole of my life. There, just done. I've just shown you two things. So that's why. And I just, it's great and stuff. And with the single, we haven't updated it. We've just bounced it up a bit and put a new bass sound on it. What I have done is, and Michael has done it, he's prepared a new track, which I'm going to do live in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm going to do some of the other voices again and do all of that. But it's very odd at this time of life, because we have to do now everything away from each other.
Yeah, right.
So, and I am not the most technical person in the world. I have no idea about things. I understand how it works. It's nice to see your smiling face, and that's lovely.
Yeah.
It's quite remarkable, considering how far away you are.
Okay, that's right. Wilkie, are you okay?
Yep. I just wanted to say that at that moment when they recorded Heart Be Still, probably Freddie was very influenced by that, because then he wrote Piece of My Heart, which became Let Me Live. So that is probably, Piece of My Heart is borrowing parts of another song by the same author, which is the famous song.
It is possible. I think we are influenced by a lot of people, because I was influenced by Lorraine and that the elasticity of her voice, which seems to stretch, and Aretha Franklin. I love all that.
Yeah.
I used to listen to a whole heap of Aretha Franklin, and with Freddie, because there was a great album that we used to listen to all the time, because I got it from America and from Atlantic Records, and he listened and said, yes, it's good to be influenced by things. It's fantastic.
Alexis?
That's it.
Peter, at that time you were recording some other time for the Alan Parsons Project, and what was like to work with Alan Parsons and Eric Wolfson in the studio?
It was interesting, because Alan, I just met him a couple of times, but he had all these ideas and different. There were projects, and he just worked on. I suppose in those days you would call them, what we'd say in English, a concept album. So it was an idea for a whole. Yeah. So that's what it. And his concept was this, and they'd heard me singing, and they'd asked me if I would come and do, I think, iRobot, which was the one I did. And it was great. We did it at Abbey Road Studios, and I remember coming in at night doing it, because I was doing a show, and coming in at 11 or 12 at night and finishing at 1 or 2 in the morning. I think we did it all in one. I was very inexperienced, but we did it all in one long session of about 4 or 5 hours of just singing, because a lot of the tracks had already been laid down, and so that's how it went. Yeah, but that was good. I enjoyed it very much. Really, and they're really good people. So yeah.
Peter, I show you a picture. I want you to try to contextualize it for me. Tell me about it. Okay. Who was responsible for this? Who are these 3 ladies?
Who was responsible for the picture?
No, for the concept, for the idea. It was you, it was Freddie.
It was Freddie's idea.
Okay.
It was Freddie's idea. We walked around the garden and he said, I just had this idea. We will do this. It's like a mask. It's masks. Because I was interested in masks and all that.
Yeah.
That first album I did, the reason I had all that makeup on was it's a mask. It's something you strip away or you hide behind. And so he just had this idea. He said, I think we should do it in drag and just do it in drag. I mean, so we recorded it first at Mike Moran at his studios.
Yeah.
And we did that at night, and Roger and I did the backup singing. And that's what. But it was all Freddie's idea, and then Diana and she did the costumes, and those came, and we discussed the different colors we would wear.
Okay, I have to tell you, you were maybe like a Tina Turner. Your wig was something like that.
Well, I suppose so. I thought it was going to be more like the Ronettes.
Okay, Ronettes. Okay.
Be my little baby. But I don't know. Whatever. I think whatever anybody wants to think it is, they're welcome.
Okay. And it was lovely.
It doesn't bother me. Yeah, it was good fun. I had a good time doing it.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Ariel.
Okay, Peter. So how did you find it work with Mac in the production of For Real Natural Men?
Mac and I became friends. Anyway, again through Queen and through Freddie, because we all hung out together at Freddie's house and everything. And when Real Natural Man came up to do it, Freddie and I discussed it, and Mac was the natural person to do it, because we got on, and I loved the German influences that Mac had at the time and still does, and we got on very well, Mac and I and Mike Allison. So we just said, well, let's do it. So we did that album together, which and we had a good. I'm not sure if I had a good time doing the album. I had a good time working with Mac. I wasn't. We recorded it in Switzerland at Mountain Studios, and I didn't have the greatest time in Switzerland. I found it rather. If I saw one other fucking mountain,
What was it?
One length of time. It's around, in Montreux. It's just surrounded by mountains. It's beautiful, and you can take that. Well, I can take that for about 10 days or so. I was there a long time, bunkered down with the band, and I think I got depressed. My manager at the time, Clodagh Wallace, she said to me it was the most depressing album she'd ever heard. Because I also wrote a lot of the songs down there, and it's quite a beautiful place, but it's almost like you have nothing to do. All the rich people are there, and all the young kids at the time were just off their heads. They had nothing to do. This was money, and there was no it was too quiet for me. I'm going to put it that way. It's too quiet. I came out in spots. I hated the place so much. So I used to walk around in a black veil.
Okay.
And that is the truth. I remember Freddie flew in to find out what was wrong with me. And I said, looking back now, I think it was a slight depression. I then went off in the middle of recording that, and I digress, to go to Prague, to Warsaw, to make a film, to Alice in Wonderland with Susanna York, Paul Nicholas. And as soon as I got to Frankfurt Airport, I seemed to have lost. I could take the veil. It was like by the time I came back, I realized that I just must have been clinically depressed. But I'm all right now.
Okay, happy to know it. Wiki.
well, rumor has it that you had some input in the lyrics of "I'm Going Slightly Mad." Can you explain that a bit?
Rumor is a
That's
very
true.
thing. I'm going to say no.
No.
I think we talked about it a lot, and no.
Okay, that's it. That's your
That's
answer.
enough.
Okay.
Okay, Alexis.
Peter, could you describe a typical day in Garden Lodge for us?
Whoa.
If anything like a typical day in Garden Lodge could be said.
You get up, you shower, have breakfast, plan what you're going to do that day. Unless typical days work, sometimes you just some days work, some days. So you're going to studio whatever time you're going to studio, and you come back whatever time you come back from the studio. That's from Freddie's point of view. He was he liked working, and yet he didn't like working. But when he had to work, he worked. So I would spend some time there. I suppose typically the best time I would remember or think of is Sundays. We used to like Sundays because we'd have lunch at Sunday and lovely Sunday lunches, which was just wonderful because it's a lovely big house and it's a big garden, and that was just sort of joyous. We'd get there, it's about 2 or 3 of us, Mary, him, Joe, Phoebe, and maybe a couple of other people, and we'd sit down, we'd have pre-drinks for lunch, and we'd have a lovely lunch, some lovely roast lunch or whatever was prepared by Joe, and then we would repair and have, and actually, I know this sounds, we'd watch either football or we'd watch tennis. I'm a great tennis fan, and Freddie and I went to Wimbledon a few times, and then we'd end up usually quite jolly by about 6 or 7 or 8 in the evening, and sometimes sit down and play Scrabble. I know it sounds ridiculous, or there's another
Not
game,
at all.
another game, very competitive. We'd all get competitive, and then sometimes sometimes some of the boys in the band would come over. Roger might pop over, and Crystal and stuff, and we'd end up playing Trivial Pursuits till 3, 4 in the morning. I mean, really, and playing in pairs and getting really, that's a good day, and it very relaxing and just great fun, and in a way, I suppose, quite ordinary.
And
Okay.
have you have you been in Garden Lodge since Freddie passed away?
Yes, I went soon after he died to meet with Mary. We were in the garden, and I went in, and I've seen her just a couple of times since then. Yeah, but it's not his house anymore. It's her house. So yes, but I've been there. Yes.
Peter, we're all dying to listen to you talking about your point of view about Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie. You think it was a good movie? Do you think it was a good portrait for Freddie and his life and his work?
I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed it very much. I don't think Bohemian Rhapsody was about Freddie. It was about Queen, and that's a whole. It's a whole different. And as far as I was concerned, it's a biopic. It's just a moment in the whole of. I mean, Queen. I think this year they're going to. It's 50 years since they formed or something. I think this year, isn't it?
Yes.
And I think it's just it's a moment, a moment in the life of Queen, going up to Live Aid. So it's just little dots. So I just find it enjoyable, and it gave people a little information. I think, especially for another younger generation, because I didn't know Queen at the beginning of their life, so I have no idea, So it's just a biopic and not a documentary. But I enjoyed it.
You just mentioned Mary, and I think Alexis has a couple of questions about her.
No, I just want how are your relationship with Mary?
With me, I as far as I'm concerned, it's all right. It's good. I saw her about three years ago, and we had supper. We went out to supper, and we had a good time and a good laugh. And yes, it's good. It's good. Yes. And I love Mary, and I can drink to her. See, I've got more. In the good.
You just have a refill. Okay, lucky you. Ariel.
Boys, I can't wait for you. You're too slow. It's the middle of the afternoon. It's in London now. In England, it's cocktail hour. It's gone 6 o'clock, isn't it?
Okay.
Ariel or Wiki?
So Peter, a couple of weeks ago, you showed on Instagram that you were drinking a bottle of Malbec from Argentina. So we would like to know if have you ever been to our country before?
I've never been to Argentina. The nearest I've been to Argentina, you probably won't like this, is Brazil.
Yeah.
It's nearby.
No, in South America, no, like it's like going in Europe. It's near, no, it's a big continent. So I've never been to Argentina. I've always wanted to go to Argentina, but I've never been there. I might get there before I die. Who knows?
I'd like to. Welcome.
I love Malbec, as it so happens, and I love and so I don't have to make it up. I didn't do it for any reason. I just bought that, and I like the other Malbec, the Mendoza.
Yeah.
Malbec. I drink that quite a lot, to be honest.
That's good to know.
It's okay. You're British. You can do it.
We should send you a case.
It's probably not the best one for you. What's the best Malbec, or what's the best Argentinian wine? Would you say?
Yes, that's difficult.
That's a hard one.
I like red.
I'm partial for Rutini wines.
Rutini. Helmut Ditch, the artist, has a brand of wine that is incredible.
Yeah.
Also.
Well, send it down to Archie for me.
Yeah.
Of course.
We shall do that. Yeah.
I'd love that, because I love trying new wines. So Malbec is just very popular here now, and that's why you're laughing.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's a good taste here. I like it. Yes, because of course there's Malbec is being made in France as well. It's how they do the grapes. I know all of that, but I do like I do like a good Malbec. So let's find. You send Archie one or two what you consider good Argentinian wines, and I will buy it here, and I will let you know what it's like.
Okay.
Great.
That sounds like a deal. Yeah.
That's the deal.
Wilkie, another question?
What can I say after that?
I'm just saying, cheers. Cheers. Salud.
Cheers.
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 Yeah.
Cheers. Peter, do they still call you Sarita?
Not many people. People are finding out about this. Another set of people are finding out about this. Mike Moran calls me Sarita, and I call him Winnie, because he's Winnie for that well. So, and in fact, I spoke to him today, and so, and I'm hoping to see him next week, because with all this pandemic and lockdown, we don't see each other, we just speak to each other, and we're trying. It looks like we might be able to visit technically, by law or whatever it is. So we might see each other next week. So he says, Sarita, how are you? And I say, Winnie, how are you? And that's it's a laugh.
So, Peter, we want to say thank you for your time, for this opportunity to chat with us and to talk about your re-released albums. Personally, I have to say, I didn't know your version of Heart Be Still. It's a heartbreaking song. It's a tour de force. I am very moved for your your skills, your falsetto, and your vocal power. So I really like your version and the rest of the material. So I wish you the best for the box set, and I wish everybody can hear it.
Oh, so do I. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. It's one of the it's one of the favorite songs that I've ever done, and it means that's why we're re-recording another version, because so we can put it out so that people can remix it and all. These are things that people have told me to say. but we are recording one, and then the tracks have been put down. I'm going to lay a new vocal on and put. So as I said earlier, so I'm very pleased. It's a song for me that it just means a lot to me, and it's a song of hope within all its time, and the version will be quite different. But I appreciate the fact that you like it. I really, I mean, I'm very honored. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that you like it.
And the video is lovely.
Good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Guys, do you want to say something to Peter before?
A little question. I have a little question. You said that you watched football with Freddie. Did Freddie support any team in England?
Oh, that's a queen.
I'm not quite sure. This is going to be very difficult because I'm an Arsenal supporter. So that's my team. So I think he probably might have been inclined towards Arsenal. Maybe. I can't guarantee that. We never talk. I didn't get. Football is a great game, and I don't get hysterical about it like some people do. People get praised. I mean, that's my team. I grew up near them in North London, and so sometimes there'd be a lot of banter. You know, if they were playing Chelsea or something. Well, that's not the team to support. That's what you do with friends. So yes, it was like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the headline would be Freddie was a gunner. That was the no.
Gunner. No. A gooner. I said no. But that's why I'm saying it's very difficult. No, but we sort of. Whoever our friends are, we sort of. But that's why I have answered the question in that way specifically. So I did not. Yep.
Okay. In the name of all my friends, far away from your home, but very close to you in this moment, we want to say thanks, Peter, for your kindness and for sharing with us.
Baby, my heart is breaking, and there's no hope inside. The sky is an ocean of darkness. No one to hold me in the long, lonely night. Tell me, how can I forget you? Oh, how can I go to sleep when I know that I love you? I love you, and always will. Heart be still, 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 heart be still. Oh yes, when you are lonely and you're feeling so blue, think of she'll come back. Oh, if you ever want me, if you ever need me, listen, listen.